over Hellzerker slash Bullet Hell Amara. This is a lazy auto build that I've been using. So go check him out. He's got a Twitch and a YouTube. Now, this is highly inspired by him. It's not the exact same, switch some things around. And we've made this build. I've been using and I've been planning this build for the Garden Takedown releasing June 4th, and probably the first phase of buffing the weapons and the scaling of Mayhem 10. Now, hopefully everything in this build still works for when the scaling arrives. If not, I'll probably post an update to this build because this build is pretty insane. We're gonna run through the cartel real quick. Not the entirety, or maybe the entirety, depends on how long I take to do my things, to do my showcase. Now, for this build, pretty straightforward skill tree, grabbing do arm and violent tapestry for more rush decks. We're going on fast hands because reload speed is still important in this build, but I've tweaked some things around. Instead of going full alacrity, which some builds use, I'm going on full restless because the weapons we're using have pretty good reloads, and you wanna use ties to bind as much as you can. Now this is a pretty straightforward Amara build for Facehugger. We're going full retreat. We're not using anima because I'm using it with my class mod, but we're not putting any points in anima because self dots do get an increase from this, and you don't want that because you'll die from them. And with the modifiers we're using, if we die, we die because roll light insta kills you. We're going also fire to fire on sustainment. Now some builds use 2 or 3, but to move down the skill tree, we won't grab Illuminated Fist. We won't max out Wildfire, and we won't grab Catharsis. So sustainment is the next best bet. And again, pretty straightforward skill tree. Little bit of fire rate and from rest, and some charge time. A little bit of damage from the Delayed Bear and the Wrath. It's pretty straightforward. Now we're using the Maggie. Fortunately, this actually scaled pretty well to Mayhem 10. Got this with a pretty good annoyance. I've got everything here with pretty good annoyance and stats. Because for Mayhem 10, you'll need them annoyance. You'll need good things. Maybe not god rolls, but for some characters like Flak, you'll need god rolls. Now, yeah, we're using the Maggie, which recently Infusion got buffed, so it now works with sustainment. So we can now use non-elemental weapons, such as the Maggie and OPQ. Now, the OPQ is a new cartel weapon. It does insane damage and procs some secondary like shock explosions sometimes, and those do a lot of damage. And if you proc that explosion before they're at 9% health with that anoint, you'll keep that damage going for a little bit more than 9% health. There's a weird interaction going on. I'm not too sure what's going on, but you can just melt mobs and even some heavier enemies, just mini bosses. We're using a times 7 consecutive hits reflex because this will stack the consecutive hits really fast and has good ammo sustain. We also have a times 14 one with ASE, which works just as fine, but the consecutive hits can stack up to 200% instead of 100%. So if you mind just waiting a little bit, you'll get more damage out of this one. Now we're using the yellow cake, because the yellow cake is the yellow cake, of course. Got a 300% 90 and a splash damage one. Now the 300% 90 is for things such as like Trond or COV mobbing, which can one-shot pretty much anything really quickly with the 200% annoying. But for things like Wotan, Tyrene, and fights that you won't one-shot, the AC splash damage really helps. For our shield, we're going with the Transformers with ASCs. Now, these are really good defensive shields because of the absorb chance and the 100% of shock damage returns as shield. You can use an old god if you want to go offensive, but I highly recommend Transformer for the defensive take of this build. Now, for a grenade, really doesn't matter. I like to use the Spis if I want to increase my damage in the ties, because it does do that. With the ASCs as well to get more damage. For Plasma, pretty straightforward. Berserker, got some SMG weapon damage and weapon crit damage. For our artifact, you can use a Pearl, but I like to use the Snowdrift because I like to get around faster with some cooldown, some max size, and the health regen really helps. Also the victory rush, so when I kill a badass, I'll often open a fight, kill the badass to trigger victory rush, and that'll give me more damage over time. Well, over the couple of other enemies that I get until I kill another badass enemy. Now in this build, I've also got a grease trap because this is actually pretty good. Now, let me show you. Show you real quick. The grease trap has two modes. One, the hot grease mode, and the first one actually is the fire starter. If you're playing co-op, someone can actually just use the hot grease and someone else use the fire starter to constantly prog the explosions. And the explosions actually melt anything. Like, we've done Wotan with only grease trap and it works perfectly fine. So if you're going to play multiplayer, grab yourself a grease trap. Also drops from the cartel event. Really good pistol. But if you're not going to play solo, then don't pick this up. It's good if you want to use ties that bind and only mob with it. But for bossing, definitely play with a friend. We're also grabbing the Kings and Queens calls because these are really fun for mobbing. You can just shoot one shot and basically kill anything. I've got a level 1 Infinity that's for stacking up my money because I bought all the SDUs. But yeah, level 1 Infinity if you want to stack up some money. Now we've got some Chaosins. These are just really good weapons in general. We've got ×2 consecutive hits with shock and rad. We've got ×1 with consecutive hits kinetic. We've got the 300% on rad, corrosive, and fire. We've got a bunch of them, but we won't really use them. I prefer using this setup right here, even for the takedown. Now we've also got the Monarchs. These are really good, especially corrosive one in takedown. You can just melt Valkyries in Wotan's top half. It's pretty insane. Now the Clairvoyance still works. It's actually pretty insane. You can melt anything in the ties. It's just great. The good Juju, when you get the crits going, it's insane. You can get some pretty good one-shots. You can one-shot some one-burst, basically. You can one-burst some of the tougher enemies, which is really great. Got this with the 300% 90 anointment. I'd rather have ASE because once you get below that 90% health, you can see the drop in damage. This gun has a lot of crit damage, but that's it. The damage is not that good. Now we've got some anarchies and the reflux I've talked about. We've still got the Hellwalker. Now this is a bad anointed one. I'd rather have ASC or basically ASC because you wouldn't want consecutive hits. This is we'll see if this gets buffed in the Mountain scaling patch. If it does, then good. Quit that. This gun is actually amazing. It's still good, but it's not overpowered. It's not Hellwalker or Doom Shotgun overpowered. It should do Doom Shotgun damage, but it doesn't. Which is kind of lame. The Anarchies are the Anarchies. You can stack them up. Yellow Cake, Unseen Threat if you want to one-shot some mobs. Sandhawk, bossing, and that's pretty much it. We're going to go over the cartel event real quick. Grab you. And as you can see, this can absolutely melt anything. And our cooldown is just really fast. Grab someone. Didn't grab anybody, but then we grabbed someone. As you can see, nobody left. Because this is just so powerful. Grab. Didn't grab anyone, but that's fine. We're gonna grab you. And we can see the drop in damage once you get below that 90% health. That's fine. Should be using this weapon on them. Go. What's that? We've got them remnant orbs going. Really help. You can see these like secondary explosions going on. This will do a ton of damage. We got hit by an enemy. I don't know which one it was. Probably a dog. Yep, a dog. Honestly, just pure damage. If you want to use the reflux, you can also use the reflux just like this for single targets. If you got them tied, they're gonna take 50% more damage, which is perfect. Spinners. And if you want to know something, the reflux shoots in the pattern of a toxic symbol. So you want to get up close to get maximum damage potential. Like this gun, it's a shotgun, of course. It's a no-brainer. Get close. Okay. Let's get a bunch of them tied. As you can see, it lags a little because it kills everything just so quickly. Just one of my favorite builds for Mayhem 10. Now, who do we have? I think Fish Slab. Do we have Fish Slab? Tenderizer. Order up! Tenderizer. Drop the Iceberger. Iceberger is not really that good. We'll go from here. Where is it? There. build is really fast paced as well. Firewall. Drops the firewall. Pretty straightforward. That wasn't where Mask was. Do we have the mission actually? Yeah, we do. And my inventory is bugging. Can they fix that? This is really annoying. What? Why does it keep doing that? Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Sorry guys. Trying to see where the golden mask is. The tie is up in here. Smell you. Smell you. Got a saw bower. It's pretty good. Actually, no, it's pretty bad. I hope they've buffed that a lot. Give it some good damage. No, this part is where it's a little crazy. Okay, well, I died right there. Fortunately, I didn't complete that, I just went down. It's where you can actually get pretty crazy. And if you were wondering, yes, this build didn't do the takedown just fine. I've been really going back and forth between Ricochet Witch and this build, and I'm saying all I'm saying is this build is more fun, but Ricochet Witch is a lot more this build is a lot more fun. So yeah, I'll end it here. Do the Joey Ultraviolet alone. So yeah, if you enjoyed the build, just like and subscribe. And well, if you didn't, it's no problem, man. Just skip over. Don't really mind. And have a nice one, man.